This thing slides out. And then we have the Suunto logo. And it looks like we just flip this lid open. So let's pull this out of the box. All right, let's put this aside for the moment. Let's see what's else inside the box here. Let's go. And then we're gonna have a guide. Wait, there's no cables. Crazy. All right, we'll have to see what that's all about. Oh, so it looks like the charging cable's actually in this little sleeve right here. Suunto sticker. It's gonna have a pretty robust guide here. Whew. Looks like 4,000 languages in here. Anyways, we'll put that aside for the moment. Along with that, let's check this out. Oh man, that means I'm gonna have to take one of these off. All right, we're gonna take the Gear Sport off for the moment. Okay, so let's check this thing out. Initial impressions. This thing looks burly. It has a very, very distinct bezel design here with almost, these remind me of columns from sci-fi movies, but it has this offset contrast between this brushed metal and the matte kind of gray, I guess you could call that the stealth color right here. It's kind of interesting, they call this stealth, but this has a pretty noticeable silver part on this bezel here, so it's not exactly stealthy, but overall, this thing looks really, really nice. It looks to me that the case material actually is about the same material as the Fenix 5X, probably that polycarbonate, but this strap, however, this is a very, very soft feeling rubber. Probably more reminiscent to the Apple Watch strap that I have on the standard version, but it definitely has a softer feel to it than the both Fenix as well as the Vivo Active bands. The clasp is extremely burly. I don't think you'll have any problems with that thing breaking. The buttons are going to be very positive. They have a fairly solid feel, but it does feel like there's a little bit of play. And then on the back of the device, you're going to have a 4 LED heart rate sensor. Those are probably going to be your charging contact points. So then we have the removable watch bands, which are going to be extremely easy to use. The spring mechanism on the watch band pin is extremely solid, so I don't think you're going to have any issues there. All right, so let's put it on the wrist and see how this thing feels. So first of all, they have these notches on the watch band here. You see how they catch a little bit when I'm trying to put it on. So this watch band, by the way, is extremely long and it does not come with an extra watch band either. Those notches don't make taking it on and off super easy, but it's not like you're doing that often. It's gonna be really easy to put inside the little loop holders here. I can definitely see those notches being really good for keeping the watch band in place for the extra bit of watch band, because on the Fenix, this thing tends to come off quite a bit, and then I have a little bit of extra band that comes loose here. But on the wrist, oh boy, let's see here. I think it's lighter than the Fenix 5X, and it's pretty apparent on the wrist because it doesn't necessarily shake around a lot like the Fenix 5X does, because I have to really tighten down the Fenix 5X to make sure it doesn't shake around. In terms of comfort, really, really like it. Watch band is extremely comfortable. Even though that clasp is big, it doesn't dig into the wrist at all. Even for the size, even with some wrist flexion here, it doesn't seem to get in the way. Yeah, as long as you have it above your wrist bones right there, it's totally fine. All right, so really nice on the wrist, great feel. Let's turn this thing on. We are going to refer to the guide today, but it's got some information here about the touch screens, the buttons, the displays. All I want to know is the power key. So they just call it waking up the watch, not really a power key. So keep the upper button pressed to wake up the watch. All right, so here we go. Right, that took about a 5-second press. Screen is coming on. Little bleep bleep. We're gonna select the language. It has a little arrow right there. Ah, physical buttons. Oh, it's been a while since I've used these. So we're gonna select English. Welcome. Define your profile. male. We are going to use Imperial today. Weight 52. Time and date 12 hour. Huh, they call it America. That's a very generalized time zone. Let's see if they have more specific stuff in here. They don't, okay. So we're gonna go with America. Ah, here we go. All right, so it has a more detailed list now. No Denver, oh boy. So this is going to be a big scroll here. If you do live in North America, it just is North American Mountain Time. Searching for GPS to set. Oh wow, that was fast. So I'm indoors obviously right now, and I'm about 5 feet away from a window, and then that window is about another 5 feet underneath awning. So I'm a good 10 feet away from any clear line of sight, and it still picked up GPS that quickly. Let's go ahead and start playing around with these buttons. So if we press the up button, it has an exercise, navigation, logbook, stopwatch, settings, and then it stops. It doesn't loop around. And then we go down through the list again. Below that is going to be the activity, training, recovery, outdoor. Okay, that's kind of interesting. And that's it, it stops. So from the watch face, if we press this middle button, toggles through this right data field. Tapping anywhere on the watch face changes those metrics. I think that's pretty cool. Swiping down, swiping up is going to be the same as the up and down keys. See, I really like that. And that's going to be really big for the next Fenix or whatever else Garmin comes out with for their flagship products. The touchscreen on the Vivo Octa 3 was actually so good that I started to try to touch the screen on my Fenix 5X. So my preference for the next Fenix is to have a touchscreen as well as the physical buttons. So I think touchscreens are great, but mainly when you're not doing sports. When you're doing sports, that's where physical buttons absolutely win. So let's start an exercise and see how that looks. Exercise. So we got running, basic, trail running basic. So there's this little designation under some of these activities for basic as well as power. That's kind of interesting. We're gonna have to explore what that means exactly. So let's start a running activity. So it's pretty standard. It has GPS indicator up here as well as heart rate, start button, and then options. I'm assuming, yep, okay, we just swipe up to see some options. We can do a target of duration, navigation with point of interest or breadcrumbs, auto pause, GPS accuracy, best and good, and okay. That's kind of interesting. So we're going to keep that at best. So I assume that probably has to do with sampling rates, possibly GPS plus GLONASS. We'll have to explore that. Nope, I was wrong. All right, so the next option down is going to be GLONASS, so that's going to be off. So let's turn that on. We're going to have a dark theme, intervals, power saving mode. All right, so let's go ahead and start this. Start this. So it appears that the touchscreen doesn't actually activate the activity. You do have to press the physical button. Oh. Very nice display. Let's see here. It's going to have your heart rate here, as well as mileage, time. Bottom key is going to press a lap, pretty standard. Top key is going to stop the activity, very standard. Then we have a resume, and those are going to be associated again with the up and down keys. Let's see if this works on the touchscreen. So it's kind of interesting. They have large enough areas on the screen here for these resume and end to be actually buttons, but they aren't. You actually have to use the up and down keys. Just like the watch face, when you tap the screen, it scrolls through the different data fields. And then again, just like the watch face, when you press the middle button, it scrolls through those different data fields. So let's end this activity. How was it? Oh, this is kind of cool. So I really like this quite a bit because some workouts go absolutely great, some workouts go like crap. So it's going to be great to have a gauge, at least a way to log that information within their whatever the ecosystem that they use. So let's say this was excellent. But then at the end of the workout, you are going to be given the standard summary screen. You're going to have your cadence as well as your heart rate. Looks like a heart rate graph probably. That doesn't have much information. Calories burned, PTE, as well as your excess post oxygen consumption or excess post exercise oxygen consumption. But to delete the activity, you're going to use this side button right here. Delete button. So let's compare this up to the Fenix 5X here. So in terms of size, what we can see here is that, honestly, these things are extremely similar. If anything, the Suunto seems just a little bit larger in diameter. But overall, and I have not looked up the weights on these, I can definitely say that I think the Suunto is lighter. Actually, I'm pretty darn sure the Suunto is lighter. If I'm wrong, I'll put that right now. And then in terms of height, the Suunto, again, very, very similar. It seems like these two are pretty much nearly identical. So far, this looks extremely exciting, and I've been on Garmin for many, many years, so I'm actually interested to see if this could replace the Fenix 5X. So this is obviously a very capable device, so this is not going to be a quick review by any means. But I'm definitely looking forward to putting this through the paces like all my other reviews, so subscribe to the channel to get notifications when those videos come out, and thanks for watching.